Welcome to the Building Newfoundland and Labrador podcast, dedicated to exploring the interesting journeys of the people in the provincial construction industry. Presented by the Newfoundland and Labrador Construction Association, produced by Gale Force Winds. Join us as we chat with the inspirational individuals that ensure the continued growth of the construction industry and the province of Newfoundland and Labrador.
To the Building Newfoundland and Labrador podcast. We are getting ready now to go up on stage, start this gala event. Very exciting. I'm Alan Dale. With me as always, my good buddy, Jerry Carew. Great to be in conversation. There's so many good things happening in this province right now. Minister, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you. So I'm Sarah Stoodley. So I'm MHA for Mount Sion, which used to be St. John's North and Elizabeth Park and Paradise. And I'm Minister of Digital Government and Service NL, which is like all the inspections, all the regulation, all the building accessibility, all the building codes. I'm also in charge of occupational health and safety. So, I don't have a construction background. My background is in financial services and technology. So I'm here to learn more about the construction industry and get to chat with some more of the members. I'm very excited to be here, and I attended the Women in Construction sessions on Friday, which were excellent. So I'm learning and here to help any way I can.
Minister, so many good things happening in Newfoundland and Labrador right now, whether it's on the West Coast, on the Avalon, in between, mineral exploration, you name it, everywhere you look, good things are happening. And a lot of it requires infrastructure. A lot of it requires roads, and a lot of it requires bridges and things to connect people together, to move people, to move equipment. Very exciting time for the Construction Association, and I bet you picked up a lot of that at the Women in Construction.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And there was a dynamic group of ladies at my table. I learned a lot from them. They were telling me about their experience, especially as a woman in the construction industry. And we were kind of sharing tips, because as a woman in politics, I work in a traditionally male industry, and I deal with some big egos. And so we were sharing stories about and giving each other tips. So I thought it was hugely beneficial for myself.
Newfoundland and Labrador has this ability to effectively, for government, industry, and academia all to work collectively together for the common good. What's in the secret sauce here? Why does it work so well here?
Well, I think Newfoundland and Labradorians they work really hard, and they've solved problems in really creative ways. And in my past life in the tech sector, we saw that. I worked for a national insurance company, and we found that people from Newfoundland and Labrador, our workers, solved problems better than anyone else, better than people who were paid 5 times as much from Toronto. Doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter where you went to school. The people from our team members from Newfoundland and Labrador worked harder, solved problems better, and really had the kind of grit and ingenuity. And I think that also, I imagine that lends itself to the construction industry as well. Yeah. And so, I'm very proud of people from Newfoundland and Labrador, and we have a lot to give.
We're a resilient people, are we not? But yet, on the flip side of that, we're not afraid to show vulnerability and open ourselves up and say, hey, maybe we can do it better, right? And I think it's those traits, also coupled with, we do understand that collaborating is important and that a rising tide floats all boats around here, right? Jerry, you had a comment.
Well, I was just asking a question, actually. So when you say digital government, can you just expand a little bit on that? Because I spent a lot of time in the digital world, and this podcast is digital. So give us a little thumbnail sketch of that.
Sure. So I think they created the title Digital Government and Service NL.
It's a big title.
Yes, for me, because based on my background. And I'm also responsible for all government IT. So a big part of that is thinking about how government interacts with residents online, so whether that on a website, on your phone, and really, I guess, having that ministerial expertise to kind of help shape how people engage with government online. For example, I'm also in charge of motor registration division, and we see 98% of the transactions with us online. So
98%?
98%, yep.
Wow.
So
that's well done, Newfoundland and Labrador.
Yes. In my last life, we would have killed for, adoption, online adoption like that. So it's, I guess, kind of having that lens, and my personal struggle is how do we transform government without spending a lot of extra money? Yeah. Because, I represent taxpayers and I have to go knock on their door, and they don't want, I don't want my tax dollars, wasted. So I'm trying to figure out how do we transform government from a digital perspective within our existing budget. So it's going slow and steady, but hopefully we'll win the race. And
Well, I'm glad I asked that question because that is a big portfolio.
100%, 100%. How long have you been in government?
So I was elected as an MHA in May 2019. And then I was a minister in August 2020 with Premier Fury, named his first cabinet. So I'm loving it. And it's a huge challenge, but it's an honor to serve the people of Mount Sion.
Well, on that note, thank you for serving the people of Newfoundland and Labrador, and thank you for the leadership in your ministry. We certainly appreciate you in our conversation tonight.
Thank you. And if anyone wants to talk building codes, occupational health and safety, anything like that, reach out anytime.
That's perfect. Minister, we're being waved into the dinner. I think the gala is being held up for us. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Building Newfoundland and Labrador podcast, presented by the Newfoundland and Labrador Construction Association, produced by Gale Force Winds.